Hello guys, Alan here and welcome to the most authoritative Revit tutorial channel you can ever find on YouTube. And we are going to be taking off from wherever we left off in part 1. So we are designing the island type of kitchen, and in our previous section we kind of like did all our countertops. We had to place in our refrigerator, and then we had this base cabinet also loaded up into the software. So we are going to be working on all of that, and you can see in here I was playing around with the file and I kind of like created this space, so I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to show you guys how we can actually deal with that. And we need to place in some cabinets also right beneath in here. So we are going to start off with our kitchen design, and I'd like to take a second to tell anyone watching this video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing out more tutorials like this and advanced lessons also like this, so you guys can be able to master and be able to have an effective, faster workflow inside the Revit software. So I'm going to go back into level 1, and this time I'm going to load in files. I'm going to load in some files in there, some cabinets also in the design. So I'm going to start off. So I'm going to bring out my family box in there, and let me just get into caseworks and tall cabinets. No, I'm going to need a wall cabinet actually, so I'll need to place in a wall cabinet. So I can use this line based cabinet family, which I told you was created by Balkan Architect. So he has all these families in there, so I'm going to use this one of his family types. I'm going to drop this, drag and drop this in there, and it's going to be a face family. So I need to head into the 3D view, and I need to pick that face right there, and then you just kind of like draw a line, and then it produces that cabinet in there, which is kind of very sick. Balkan Architect. So I'm going to drop that in there somewhere around here, and I can just go back into level 1 and just cut a section through this space right there and head back into my project browser and open that up. So I can just drag this down a little bit. I don't want it all the way to up. Alright, so this is fine. Let me head into the 3D view and see. Okay, it's too down. Let me see, back into my section. Let me kind of measure what we have in there. 1.5 is too low. Alright, so we're going to lift that up to about 2 meters, and I think 1800 is fine. We can use that. Alright, so this is perfect. So we are going to leave this as it is over here, head back into our 3D view. So this is perfect. So we have this line based family cabinet in there, which we've just created our cabinet also. So we are going to put in some base cabinets in that section as well. So I'm going to head back into my family tab right there, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to use the base cabinets in there. I'm going to look for a double one. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop this in there as well, and head back into my level 1 view, and I'm going to place this here. Okay, so this is perfect. Head into the 3D view, and we can see it in there as well. So we can actually give it a height of about 900 if we want. We can give it a height of 900, and then we can increase the width to whatever we want. We can make it 1500, or we can give it 2 meters. Alright, we can give it 2 meters. Hit on apply, hit on OK. Okay, so this is what we have in there, and there's kind of like a little space in between that space right there. So I'm going to go back into level 1. We have that little space in there. Okay, so I'm going to delete my section line out of there and click back on my cabinet in there, get into edit type, and then I'm going to increase my width. I'm going to make it 2200, and with my height is fine. With my depth I'm going to make it 650. Alright, so hit on apply. Okay, with my depth I'm going to go for 625. Hit on apply again. Okay, so this is perfect. Hit on that, and we can just drag this to somewhere around here, to attach exactly to that. Alright, so this is perfect. Let me head into the 3D view. So we have this base cabinet also in there. This is also perfect. It's actually going all the way inside that countertop right there. So I'm going to make it 8. I'm going to make it 875. It's fine. Hit on apply. Okay. 870. Let me hit on apply again. Okay, let's go for 860. 860 will be fine. Okay, 860 is the best. So we are going to leave this at 860, and we need to place in one more base cabinet right beneath in here. So I'm going to head back into my family tabs right there, and I'm going to put a single base cabinet in there. So get back into level 1, and I'm going to drop this somewhere around here. Okay, so this is fine, and I'm just going to drag my family to align exactly to that base cabinet. Okay, so this is perfect. We're heading back in there, so we have this base cabinet also in there as well, and we need to place in, I'm going to put a microwave, a dishwasher, and a microwave also down there. So I'm going to get back into level 1. I'm going to head back into my family tabs right there, go back, and I'm going to find I'm going to make sure I find other. Let me use the other, and we have an under counter wine storage, so I'm not going to use that. I'm going to get my dishwasher. I'm going to drag and drop this in there, and just hit on your space bar, and we're going to put this somewhere around here. Okay, I'm going to keep the dishwasher somewhere around here. Okay, so let me head into the 3D view and see what we have in there. Okay, so this is perfect. We can put this in there. This is perfect. So let me just look at the height in there. So I'm going to change the height to, we're going to give it a height of about 860. Hit on apply, hit on OK, and this is perfect. Alright, so we have our dishwasher in there. Get back into level 1. We can move this inside and back in our 3D view. Okay, so we have our dishwasher, and I'm going to place in more cabinets right beneath in there as well. So get back in here, and let me just go back and get to my other. Let me use the ovens in there. Let me just see what we have, and I'm going to place in this one. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop that level 1, hit on my space bar right there. I don't want it going all the way inside right there. Okay, so this is perfect. Let me just check that up in the 3D view. Okay, back into my level 1, and let me just cut a section in there. Let me just cut a section through viewing that space right there. So I'm going to view that, and I'm going to select this. I'm going to move this somewhere around here. Okay, so I'm going to leave this somewhere around here, and with this family, I'm not going to use this family. I think I'm going to use the one that comes off like that. Okay, I'm going to drag and use this one. So get into level 1, and we have our dishwasher in there. So this is perfect. Okay, I can actually keep my dishwasher somewhere around here, but let me just keep this here. Okay, so alright, so let me head back into the 3D view and see what we have. Okay, so this is perfect. We have this in there. Get into my section, and let me kind of like move this all the way somewhere around here, and then I'm going to place in a base cabinet here and here. So I'm going to use the same base cabinets. Just select that and CS on your keyboard to create similar, and I'm going to put that somewhere around here, and also going to put this somewhere around here. Okay, head back into the 3D view and head back into my section right there, and let me just select this. So this is my base cabinets in there. Select this, and then just move this to attach with that a little, and we kind of like going to move our fridge as well. So I'm going to move the fridge to attach that a little, and also move the wall right there to also come closer. Okay, so this is perfect. We've made our arrangement. So we have our base cabinet, a dishwasher in there as well. So let me head back into my 3D view, so you can see we have all this also in there as well. Alright, so we are going to take off, and we are going to place some cabinets also right under this countertop in there. So I'm going to place those cabinets also in there as well. Let me just get back in there and also go where, let me just use the casework and just get into my base cabinets, and I'm going to use this one. Alright, so I'm going to drag and drop this in there and head into level 1. Just put your mouse pointer right on the slanted part and then hit on the space bar, to actually turn that in there. Okay, so I'm going to flip my section line. I'm going to flip it to see what I have in there. So I'll have to increase my height in there. So get into the edit type, and then I'm going to send my height to somewhere around 860. Hit on apply, hit on OK. So it's touching exactly right in there. So now level 1, I'm going to drag this to the center of this, and I'm going to increase my width in there, or I can just decide to create similar. Alright, so just hit on that CS, and then you can just turn that in there as well. So you can just decide to create similar, and then we can just come and put this right here and also create similar in there. So we can turn this, and we can see we have all those cabinets in there as well. So get back into level 1, and we need to make sure this is attached to this, and we kind of make sure this is also going to be attached to this. So this is perfect. And let me head back into my 3D view. So let me see what I have in there. So I'm going to create some sort of like a cabinet in there. I'm going to put something also in there as well. So let me head back into level 1. So let me just delete this section line out of the way, and I'm going to put my dining table somewhere around here. So I'm going to head back into my Revit family in there, and I'm going to search for a dining table. I'm going to place any dining table I can find. So I'm going to use something of this sort. So let me get into this dining set, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to drag and okay, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to drag and drop that in there, and I'm going to place this somewhere around. Let me just place my mouse pointer right there to get it slanted a little bit. So I'm going to place this dining set right somewhere around here. Okay, so escape out of the way. Let me head into the 3D view right there. So we can see I have my dining sets right in there, and I'm going to place some, I'm going to do some underneath design right in there with some I'm going to put some balustrades under in there and some wood design, and we have this also in here as well. So we can keep a tall cabinet in this space right here. You can get a tall cabinet in that space right here, this tall space right here. So let me just get back into my family tabs right there, and let me just go back, and let me guess, I guess I'm going to get a tall cabinet. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to place this somewhere around here. So this is perfect. Head back into my 3D view. So I have this tall cabinet also placed in there where we can keep some stuff in there as well. So we have our dining table in, and we have this space right there. And in our next video, I'm going to teach you guys how you can actually make this to actually create that hole in there, so you can actually see your sink in there as well. So we have our refrigerator in there as well. Alright, so we are perfect, we are good to go. And I'm going to be doing this last design in our last video, and going to put in some lumen. I'm going to light up the place, and we are going to take some shots of our kitchen design. So I hope you guys found this video interesting. I'll catch you guys in part 3 of our kitchen interior design. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Peace out.
I'm still working real hard on a Saturday. A future I don't see from a mile away.